So this is the end product, and I'm going to take you through the process of building it. This is the first watch from Helixon watches on this channel, and this is the dial that I custom made. We'll be showing you how that was done slightly later on. So what we're doing here is just working out which of the pins, the dial pins on the back, need removing, and just snipping the two that aren't needed off so that it sits correctly on the movement. Just checking everything is seated correctly so that it sits nice and flush with the movement itself. So happy with how that's all sitting. We can move on to the next step now. These hands I've got are actually for a GMT, and this is a Submariner, so I don't need one of the hands. I'm just going through here now just to get it set so that it's exactly midnight, so that I can put the hands on at exactly the 12 o'clock position. And we can be as precise as we possibly can. Just takes a little while, just slowly scrolling through until it just flicks over into that last bit of the date movement, and you see it just snap into position right at the very end. Almost there. And that's it. So now we can come to putting the hands on, and always starting with the hour hand. It's just using a bit of Rottico to hold it while I align it with the 12 o'clock position. And then pressing down just to make sure it's located correctly. And it takes me a little while because I want to really make sure that we are in exactly the right place. And I think I also picked up the wrong size hand pusher to start with. So with this, I'd much rather take it slowly and do it very gradually than trying to just push it on in one hit and maybe break something or scratch something. Much better to just do it slowly and methodically. So that's the hour hand fully seated in place. Just checking it from the side to make sure it's sitting nice and parallel to the dial face itself. Then we can move on to the minute hand placement. Again, going on at the 12 o'clock position because we know that it's set to midnight. And again, just making sure I'm really happy that it's in the right place, which is not always the easiest task, but I'd rather again take a bit more time and get it exactly where I want it rather than rush and maybe not have it as precise. Then just checking again that it's parallel to the other hand and the dial face, making sure everything's in the right place. Then we can move on to the second hand, which I will tell you took me absolutely ages to get it on correctly. I've cut out all of the failed attempts so you don't have to sit there and watch me fail over and over again. But yeah, it is not particularly easy to get these second-hand hands on, but yeah, we got there in the end. I think I was a little bit in disbelief at this point, not too sure whether I'd actually got it right or not, but yeah, it had finally gone on in the right place. There you can see the movement starting up. Now I'm just winding the hands all the way around to make sure that there's clearance everywhere, and that nothing hits or fouls, so that the movement will run nice and smoothly. We can now tidy a few bits away, making a bit of space, and start on the next step, which will be just getting it into the actual case itself, making sure everything fits in there correctly. I just found a bit of debris inside, so just blowing all the dust and bits out of it, because you don't want them trapped between the dial face and the inner edge of the case either. Just removing the crown now. We'll remove the crown stem from the movement. If you're wondering, this is how I actually made the dial face. This is on my fibre laser, just going through and engraving the pattern and the branding. It's a fascinating process to watch, particularly on the deep engravings, the 3D ones as well. Hopefully have some of those watches coming soon. So we're at that point now where just making sure everything's nice and clean in the case, and then we can start to get the movement into the case itself. So just flip the movement over, and then push down on a little lever to release the crown stem, which is not the easiest thing to spot. Luckily you can just see the frame of the magnifying glass that I have there. My eyes aren't quite what they used to be and need a little bit of help to do some of these steps, but yeah, just making sure that we're in the right place, pushing on the right pin and not damaging anything, just to get that crown stem released. There we go. proper movement now into that case. You see the automatic winder there, a little rotor that winds the watch as you move your wrist. I had a bit of a brain fart here where I actually fitted the dial, the crown stem, back in before putting the actual crown on it. That didn't make my life easy there. But luckily I realised and then started to put the crown on, so then we could measure up how much needs removing off of that crown stem. Here we are, just measuring how much needs to come off. Then you need to remove that crown stem again, remove the crown, and then cut it down to size. Apologies for blocking the camera here. There you go. Just working out, making sure it's all in the right place. And then we'll just chop through. And sometimes it just works and you can thread the crown back on. Other times you get just a little burr that stops it. And you have to sand the crown stem down so that you can fit the crown on. Here we are, all done. Crown stem is now at the right length. Just fitting it back into the case now. Double checking that it is all still correct. Making sure it's locked in place now by pulling on it. And then making sure it will wind fully home and make the watch watertight. So now everything is all ready to start to be assembled. Just wind that crown down properly. Then we can get the case back. And some silicone oil to lubricate the O-ring. Make sure that we got a nice watertight seal. Pop the seal into the case. Just make sure it's seated properly all the way around. Just making sure there's no fluff or anything in the seal, making sure it's all nice and clean. So this has got a glass back on it so you can see the movement, so I didn't want to have anything trapped in between there. Not only would it get in the way in the works, but you'd also see it, so fingerprints on the inside of that glass would have been really annoying as well. Making sure it's all nice and secure, and we can get the other side fitted. Apologies again for my hands in the way. Here we are with the finished item. You can see that transparent case back, so you can see the movement, and then all in black, apart from just the writing on the dial. It's really, really nice. Here it is in its case. A few fingerprints I need to clean off. Other than that, job done.